Guess what we just did?
We just met them.
Ryan and Sergey.
Like many of you guys, I went to college, and that is where I founded the Paranormal Research Society. Now, this lecture, I know it's Halloween season. A lot of people here are looking to be scared, looking for ghosts or evidence of ghosts. Some people here may be skeptics, and they're sitting there with their arms crossed, make me believe. Well, let's be honest for a second. How the hell can I convince anyone who doesn't believe in ghosts that ghosts exist, unless I conjure one up here right on stage? Even then, someone would say, oh, that's CGI, or that's a trick of the light, or Photoshop. I don't know how this can be Photoshop, it's right here on stage. But the bottom line is, it all comes down to belief. What I'm going to do tonight, as well as Sergey, is we're going to present an argument to y'all. It's like a court of law. We're going to provide some evidence and testimony. You guys can decide. But for those of you who are absolutely saying, well, prove to me that ghosts exist, I can't. Furthermore, if I could prove that ghosts exist, I'd be on the cover of Newsweek or accepting a bunch of awards. But the bottom line is, the fact is, as of right now, all we have are snippets, pieces of evidence. The nature of the unknown is to remain unknown. And so we did an investigation, nonetheless. But then I moved to Penn State main campus at University Park for my sophomore year. And then, of course, again, there was the promise. Penn State has over 600 student organizations, one of the largest universities in the country. They have to have something in the paranormal. Only to find that the only thing close to my interest was a skeptics club. And the skeptics club was defunct a few years before I got there. So there was nothing. So I didn't want to start a paranormal society. I didn't want to start a paranormal team. I wanted to be a part of something. I wanted to learn from the best. I wanted to meet someone who had all the answers, only to find that once again, I was on my own.
How my parents, put me into this religious role. TMI. So back on topic, right? What I was trying to get at is that I really didn't have a sort of belief system that I believed in. I just sort of thought that I didn't need to read the Bible to tell me that I need to be a good person. I thought that being a good person was common sense, And my friend was making fun of religions at the time. I kind of shrugged it off. But essentially, when I got into college, I was curious about the supernatural. I was curious about the paranormal. And I would see all these ghost shows on TV, all of them describing the same thing. Ghosts walk among us, houses are haunted, people are seeing apparitions. But I thought, these are all testimonies. I need to see this firsthand in order for me to believe in it. But yeah, so essentially, when I moved to the main campus, I saw that they had a Paranormal Research Society, and I joined that organization. I also joined the finance club, which was what my major was, and the billiards club. I like to play pool. And out of those 3 clubs, I actually ended up quitting the rest of the 2, and I stuck with the Paranormal Research Society, just because I really believed in the goals and the message that they were trying to deliver, which was to help clients.
Let me ask you, why the hell the finance club?
My finance major.
Was that actually interesting, or you just sit around calculating?
Dude, I went to one meeting, and they were rattling off about markets and corporations, and I just got lost. I said, no, thank you. Essentially, here's the story, guys. My parents did not approve me joining the Paranormal Research Society. They thought I was joining a cult. They thought I was going to get brainwashed. They thought Elfie, and you guys know Elfie from the show, they thought Elfie was going to put a curse on me.
And he just wanted to walk around with me, because he thought it was really cool. And I said, yeah, that's fine. So at one point, the psychic's standing there, and she's like, do you feel that cold spot? I'm communing with the dead. And the guy goes, there's air conditioning. And she looked at him, and she's like, you're being an asshole. We monitored her on surveillance. She stayed up and she had one of those wheelchairs. Play, back, play. That's all she would do. And she picked one game, I guess, that she was her favorite, and she would just sit there and click, 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 and that's all she would do. Now, obviously, some of you guys may know there are studies that link, heavy game use to insomnia. And, that and the dog taking a crap on the floor, us explaining away everything else, we began to realize that this was simply a natural, that this case was people who were being worked up. Now, you may think, why on earth would someone think this? But there are some people who wish to explain away events as being beyond their control. In other words, some people may genuinely not be in control of their lives. And so they make up grand stories as to why all this is happening to them. Others are in control of their lives a bit more, but they're afraid to admit or come to the realization that they're at fault. And if you think that's hard to believe, look at what we've done for tens of thousands of years. The Greek gods. If the storm rolled in and blew everything out, it was because we didn't appease the gods, or we didn't sacrifice someone in the first month like we were told to. All these things, that we explained as being supernatural, that later we found are quite natural. Some people want to believe in the paranormal because it takes away responsibility from themselves. An apparition, your husband or wife says, "Oh, you guys are nuts." No, if two people say it, it rules out mental illness. It could be a hallucination, a group hallucination, but it's crazy that you both have the same experience. You all can have hallucinations in here. We can leak a bunch of carbon monoxide. We can all be hallucinating, stripping, taking our clothes off for a while. We just finished I Am 6 Part 2. Anyone here ever see I Am 6 Part 2?
Woo!
Yes, people being tormented. All right. Woo! So we just finished I Am 6 Part 2, one of our most intense investigations for the show, which we will talk about later, which was allegedly a demonic haunting. We had just finished it, and then we went off to do another 7 episodes. And we went down to North Carolina to do a case that actually sounded really cool, which was an old cabin where it was infamous around town that this cabin was haunted as hell. And that there was a dare for people to sleep in this cabin. And a bunch of macho guys would say, "Oh, F this, I'll go there." And they went in there and ran out screaming like a bunch of little girls. It happened on a regular basis. So we decided, look, we'll take it up, we'll see what we can do. So on our way down there, I decided to stop at Sheets. And I decided to try one of their amazing smoothies. So I got a smoothie. When you do the touch screen, it gives you the order number? No joke, I have this saved. My order number was 666. Furthermore, the date, it was like 1:30 a.m. or something like that on February 13, 2009, on a Friday. Friday the 13th, and my order number was 666. So, obviously we should have taken that as a sign. But Sergey and I always joke. We were like, so Satan's retribution to me is he's going to do something to my smoothie?
Can you get in touch with Chad? He's been texting you.
Oh, yeah. That's all right. Sheets will give us the shits.
Now I drink my bread.
It's interesting because you got to have my job for the day. And you also experience a lot of activity too. We just showed them the evidence where we have the surveillance in the master bedroom and the footsteps, even though there's clearly nobody there.
Right. The most horrifying thing about that case for me was the fact that they were trying to hand your job to me, because although I'm a damn handsome man, I'm far from as good looking as you are, my friend. And I was very positive that nobody in the country wanted to see me play Ryan Buell.
When it comes to the abilities of ghosts, I believe in us more than I believe in them.
What do you guys think?